This is going to be your guide to Ultra Wormholes in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Now, our adventure does not begin in Ultra Space. First, we must fly to Hiihia City on Akala Island, then head into the office building where Game Freak's headquarters are located. And the reason why I want to do this is for accuracy. Did you notice the gyroscopic controls weren't really that fun? Well, if you head to the Game Freak building after completing the story, you will have this right here. Top secret. You can use motion controls or the circle pad. So let's go and change that to the circle pad. This is going to be pretty much mandatory if you want to have the best chances of succeeding in Ultra Space, because gyroscopic controls, while they are kind of fun, they aren't really that accurate. Now, there's no way of changing it during the storyline, so you do have to kind of struggle through it until you can get to the Ultra Space or the Ultra Megalopolis, but after that, you can come to the Game Freak headquarters and change it. Then you want to fly to Pony Island, and there's been another nice change in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. If you want to head back to the Altar of the Moon, you just fly to the point. You don't go to the cave before, I think, where the trial was. You just get to run straight up, and then boom, you're already at the Altar of the Moon. Now, what you want to do is interact with this wormhole right here, and it says return to the Ultra Wormhole, which is where the Ultra Warp Ride is in the Ultra Space Fun, or you can go straight to the Ultra Megalopolis. There's nothing there for you unless you want to go and reset for Poipole, but return to the wormhole, and you'll be good to go. Now, if this is your first time, it will give you a little bit of a tutorial on how to do it. It'll be the same as what happened during the storyline, but just kind of refreshing you, so let's go and read this together. With Ultra Warp Ride, you can ride on Lunala to travel through Ultra Wormholes. Try to reach warp holes that will lead you to other worlds. Pretty good. We don't need to worry about the gyroscopic controls, but pretty much you do want to move up, down, left, and right to try to make it as far as possible. If your system's gyroscope gets stuck, we're not worrying about that, and we're good to go. So Lunala needs energy to fly through an Ultra Wormhole. This is maybe one of the most important things about being successful with the Ultra Warp Ride. Absorb round balls of energy and you will fly faster. This will allow you to travel further. But if you run into these electrifying obstacles, you will lose speed. And the thing is, if you lose too much speed, it doesn't matter how far you make it, the Ultra Wormhole will just suck you up. So that's something that you do have to pay attention to, is that if you keep your speed going, you can make it further faster, and that is going to be crucial in obtaining legendary Pokemon as well as shiny Pokemon. So this big hole is a warp hole. You get too near one, you'll be drawn in towards it, and you'll be drawn in if your speed gets too low as well. Different warp holes lead to a variety of different worlds, depending on their color. How flashy a warp hole looks is based on how rare it is. There are 4 levels of rarity in total. So yeah, we have 0 rings, 1 rings, 2 rings, and then we have the guaranteed legendary Pokemon. Now, you don't need to go into one of those for a guaranteed legendary. It's just going to be guaranteed instead of a rare chance on the other ones. Also, legendary Pokemon can only be encountered once for that Pokemon. So it's not like you just keep spamming those rings and, oh, I can get 10 Articuno or something like that. But there are enough legendary Pokemon that all of them are encounterable between Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So you are still going to be trying for a long time to be able to get all the legendary Pokemon. And it is kind of random that you can mostly choose the color, and then that's going to give you options to get certain legendary Pokemon, which we will discuss later in the video. But other than that, yeah, it's not like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire directly, where you just walk up and you know which Pokemon you're going to get. You do have to earn it, absorb more energy, and try to head to faraway warp holes. So let's begin. And in the beginning of the Ultra Warp Ride is maybe going to be one of the most important parts, because it is overloaded with the energy orbs. So what you want to do is try to gather as many of them as possible and then maintain that speed. So as you can see, it's going to be no warp holes, where we have to start collecting all this orange stuff first, and they are pretty stacked on top of each other. So it is going to be good. And then one thing is also going to be like mastering this, that you will have to worry about getting good. But if you start going fast, you know, you might not leave yourself with enough time to dodge an Ultra Wormhole. So as you can see, space is kind of limited, and since I'm going really fast, it looks like some of these wormholes that I'm even clipping, I'm actually able to dodge right through. If I didn't have enough space, the wormhole would say, nah man, you're coming in here. So, and as you can see, there were much less, and there's a lot of blue spheres as well. Every once in a while, you get some downtime where you mostly just dodge blue spheres and try to pick up some orange energy. But now, as you can see, in just a short amount of time after, oh dang. And sometimes there's not much you can do. It's like any game that's just throwing a barrage of obstacles at you. Sometimes you can try to dodge something immediately, and then it just puts you in a garbage place. Now, what you want to do is save. Even if you go into the wrong wormhole, it is worth checking it out, because there's a high chance, well, there's a higher chance there could be a shiny Pokemon. That the further you make it through Ultra Warp Ride, the more likely you are to encounter a shiny Pokemon. But as you can see, I didn't get any special cutscene or anything, so you'll just kind of see one of the overworld Pokemon encounters, like a rustling brush or the upturned soil or anything like that. That's pretty much how you're going to get your Pokemon counter. As you can see right here, it's a Medicham. Now, the Ultra Wormholes are also really good as well. These are level 60 Pokemon that you can just encounter, and they're like fully evolved. And also, a lot of the Pokemon that you encounter are actually fairly rare or have special evolution requirements. So it is worth just like heading out there and catching them. And I might as well just do like an Ultra Wormhole catching guide at some point, because if you just get like a level 100 Smeargle or Breloom or something, False Swipe, Spore is going to be a really good way of catching a lot of Pokemon. But there are also other methods of just catching Pokemon as well. And the thing is, since these are evolved Pokemon, you can't spam the Quick Ball as effectively. But for the most part, it's going to be alright. So we can try again. And that's the thing, like, it is worth just testing that Pokemon, because it could be shiny, and then heading back through the wormhole. And as you can see, we already did the tutorial, so we're good to go right now, and then it's pretty much the same thing over and over. Now, you can be in here for a couple of minutes, you know, it does take quite a bit of time to make it to the legendary Pokemon one, but at least it's action-packed, you know, there's going to be something that's keeping your attention, and if you fail, you know, you only lost a couple minutes of your time, so it's not really going to be too bad. But I want to see if I can at least make it to, like, a double ring or something, because the amount of rings that appear will kind of also give you an idea of how far you've made it through Ultra Space as well. When you notice when you go through a wormhole, it tells you how many light years far you've gone away. Well, the light years are actually... Oh, wow, look at that. I'm just going straight into that double ring. Screw that. So yeah, the amount of light years increases the odds of a legendary Pokemon, increases with how far you go, and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So let's see. It looks like I didn't get any kind of legendary encounter, because in this in the Hill Ultra Space Wild, you'll see a shadow fly below you. That kind of represents the legendary Pokemon. But again, even though we didn't go too far, it's kind of worth checking out. And then we can go and talk about the Pokemon that you can encounter in Ultra Space, as well as some of the other things as well. So this is what it looks like when going through the Ultra Wormhole on the cliff. And, oh, what? It was that easy to get a shiny, guys. It was live. Okay, so I'm not prepared for this one, but that's the double ring. And I wonder if the rings have something to do with shiny, because people aren't really, they're talking more about distance. But I guess, like, there's also shiny odds based on the rings and stuff, because that was only 1,000. See, that's why it's worth checking, guys. Even if you think you failed, even if you don't think you got a legendary Pokemon, even if you think it just sucked, it's like, oh, by the way, shiny Swallow, just like that. Also, you do get to see the shadow of the Pokemon that you're encountering, which is pretty cool. And the thing is, like, this Pokemon will always be shiny, so you can soft reset for nature pretty well if you want to. I wasn't really expecting this. I'm going to throw a Quick Ball and just see how that works. So, stock up on Quick Balls. Throw a Quick Ball, it gives you just a really good chance that you can catch the Pokemon straight up. But again, since it is evolved, it does have a lower catch rate, potentially? Okay, then. Ultra Wormholes are pretty fun and busted. Like, I think there's just going to be tons of time spent grinding to catch all the Pokemon possible. The shiny hunting with this it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. From what I've been seeing from a lot of people. And this is my first one. Like, what was that? My second warp ride ever? And then I just get the shiny... Well, actually third, counting the story one. I get Swallow. So yeah, that's how that works. So let's go and look at the legendary Pokemon, compare catch rates, and then show you guys what's desirable here. And I'm just going to go and save my game, because there we go. Alright, and now I'm on the Cerebi page for the Ultra Wormholes, because Joe Merrick did an excellent job, all credit to him, for cataloging the Pokemon that can be found inside the wormholes, which ones, and also the legendary Pokemon as well. But also, there's some other things going on. The white wormholes are where you get the Ultra Beasts, and you can catch Ultra Beast non-stop, and as you can see, there are rarities involved, so depending on which Ultra Beast you're going for, the style of rings around the wormhole will help as well. But I mean, this is also pretty crazy too, because you look at the data of it, it was 2% for that encounter to get the double ring wormhole at only like 1,000 to 1,500 light years, and this is going to be a very useful table for you. As you can see, you kind of have to make it pretty far for even a 1% chance to get the guaranteed legendary Pokemon. It's a 5% chance at 4,500 light years. Now also, you do have to note that as you progress, you are passing through a lot of Ultra Wormholes as well. So from 2,500 to 4,500, there's just a lot of chance that even at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%, the wormholes leading up to that can also have a legendary Pokemon and be the type 4. So that's something, and then even if you just go a little after 4,500, it won't take super long to get legendary Pokemon. It's kind of what I'm getting at right here. And then the Pokemon that you're going for are also going to be depending on the wormhole. So as you can see, blue wormhole right here, Quagsire, Lombre, Floatzel, Stunfisk, Barbaracle. Some of these are like really good, like Barbaracle just fully evolved, Floatzel fully evolved, more rare on that side. But then Stunfisk, Lombre, Quagsire, not as impressive Pokemon, but still you can just find them in the blue wormhole. And then those are going to bring you these legendary Pokemon right here. Lugia in Ultra Moon, Latios in Ultra Moon, Latios, and then Kyogre. So if you see, you can start past up. You know, you don't have to take every 2-ring or legendary wormhole that's in your way. If you're trying to target a specific Pokemon, then that's something that you're going to want to do, is just kind of keep going until you see the desirable ring. That way you can improve the odds of getting that legendary Pokemon that you want. Also, Uxie, Mesprit, Azelf, those are going to be for all games, but if you want Suicune, Kyurem, you will need to have these special requirements. I've already covered this in some other videos, but if you're looking for specific legendary Pokemon, then I recommend going on to Cerebi and then kind of figuring out the requirements and what you need to do to obtain them. But let's go and click on some. As you can see, Drapion versus Nuzleaf and Grumpig, they're probably gonna have different capture rates, which is why Quick Ball could just work. Now, as you can see right here, the capture rate on a Drapion is going to be 45, so this number doesn't really mean much unless you super understand how capture mechanics work in Pokemon, but the idea is that a Quick Ball multiplies that rate by 5 if used on the first turn. So Quick Balls became very overpowered in Generation 5 onwards, and in Gen 7, I think you feel it the most, because a lot of the Pokemon you just kind of encounter for quick catches or anything are going to be in the rate where it's like a 100% chance to catch them if you just throw a Quick Ball on the first turn. Drapion, for example, with a 45, has a 6% catch rate, and then you just kind of throw the Quick Ball, and then boom, that's going to multiply to 1 in 3 chance almost. So Swallow is going to be a 45% chance as well, so I didn't have positive odds on catching it on that first Quick Ball, but it drastically increases your chances. It's always worth throwing the Quick Ball on that first turn, because for the most part, if you have a high level capture Pokemon, you can take a little bit of a hit and then try to, status it and then increase your odds that way. But overall, that's just going to be super free right there, so Swallow's pretty good. Then there's other Pokemon like the Nuzleaf. You throw a Nuzleaf turn 1 Quick Ball, it's almost going to be a 100% catch rate at that point. So that's something else that you can understand. Medicham, that's a Pokemon that you can encounter in the yellow wormhole as well. So it just kind of breaks down those rarities that I don't think the rarity inside of the wormhole really matters too much. That's just going to be the set Pokemon encounter when you get there, but you are using the rarities to try to get legendary Pokemon, as well as increase your odds when getting Ultra Beasts, because the Ultra Beasts will appear as common, uncommon, or rare. Interestingly enough, Guzzlord isn't one of the more desirable Ultra Beasts, but it is a larger impact on the story, so it being a rare encounter kind of makes sense. But if you want to get some of the more desirable ones, Pheromosa is common at least, so you're going to run into it in the Ultra Desert quite frequently, and then you can also just kind of use that with a 1 ring versus 2 rings. And if you're going for a common Ultra Beast, it might be worth doing a 0 or 1 ring, because if you start doing 2 rings or something like that, then that means you might run to Kartana, Celesteela, or Guzzlord instead. So just kind of food for thought as going through the Ultra Wormhole, but yeah, that's how it is. It's a really fun feature. As you can see, you can get all kinds of really cool Pokemon, expands the Pokedex quite a bit, you can use those competitively, shiny hunting is insane, and then eventually you could end up with a legendary Pokemon. So if you guys enjoy the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.